Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Chidera's Corner. My name is Chidera, and I am thrilled to have you all here today. Joining rather, I am here with Miss Erica King, and she is the owner of Clubz Tutoring in Bowie, Maryland. Miss Erica, could you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. As you stated, I am the owner and also operating as the area director of Clubz Tutoring Services of Bowie. It is
Mm-hmm.
a part of, or it's the local version of a national franchise. The franchise in general has about 400 different locations across the US. So I'm excited to be operating the one here in our Greater Bowie area. It extends anywhere from Bowie to Odenton to Upper Marlboro and all of the other wonderful areas in between.
Nice. Nice. So Miss Erica and I, we've chatted in the past before, and she comes from the background of education. Would love to hear a little bit more about your background as we are going to be talking about her transition from education to entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. So I started off in education about a decade ago as a classroom teacher. Well, actually, as a fellow, as a early childhood teaching fellow in DC, and I enjoyed it so much. I did
Nice.
that in conjunction with my master's degree program, and then of course I was lucky enough to move into the classroom as a lead teacher, which is essentially like a mentor teacher. A few years in. So my specialty is very much the littles, early childhood through, which is considered like preschool through third grade. So I did that for quite a number of years. And from
Nice.
there, moved into education policy, where I worked with teachers who were pursuing their degrees in education, as well as advocating for workforce policies and things of that nature. And with and on the state policy side, I work with state education agencies and their staff just to again ensure and implement programs. And from there, I moved into ed tech, and from ed tech, here I am.
Nice. Now you've had quite a transition from education to entrepreneurship, which is quite a leap, some would say. Now, can you please share some of the key motivating factors and challenges that you have faced during this transition?
Absolutely. Well, although education is very, very much my passion, I did start off on the corporate side of the universe, and I have a bachelor's in business, and I worked in that realm, like in nonprofits on the finance side for quite a number of years, and I did not enjoy it, and so I wanted to pursue something, obviously, that was my passion, and so I think what led me to where I am right now is just being able to combine my experience with my passion. So being a small business owner just seemed like the perfect next step. I think I have shared with you before that kind of in my transition between being laid off from the ed tech firm that I was with, and just kind of deciding like what should I be doing? Where should I
Mm,
go next? Should I return to where I've been before? All of those things, and I just decided, again, using the experience that I do have and allowing my passion to lead me, I was like, this seems like the appropriate next step for me. So trying to take control of my own destiny here, financially as well as professionally, and yeah, moving
no,
with
that's
emotions. I
no,
would say
that's
the
great.
I
Hmm.
would say that the biggest challenge thus far is something that we've also spoken about, and that is marketing. That is not my expertise. And so I am learning as I'm going. I'm making great use of my mentor, who at this point still seems to be open to speaking to me as often as, as I have questions, and just finding like what marketing resources work for me in our area with our demographic, and but also match my personality and what I am comfortable with, and where I can excel in as well. So I would say that that so far has been the greatest challenge for me.
Gotcha. And so far, just hearing what you've said from the motivation to the challenges, you said quite a lot. And I love that you mentioned about your passion, right? You're following that which you are already one, you looked at what you're already good at, right? And then you listen to yourself to discover what is this thing that truly drives me. So that's something that I know people that are at home, they're watching, may have desires and they don't really know how to identify their passion, right? What is something you could say, like, this is what I did to help me solidify, like, this is what I really want to do? And then obviously believe in yourself to actually take the chance to do it.
Oh, absolutely. That's a super simple question to answer, and it actually dates way back to before I even began to pursue education. And it was advice that one of my former coworkers gave me, and she said that your passion is whatever you would do for free. You want to get paid
Mm,
for it, but your passion is what you would do for free, and that
nice.
is kind of what I've been leading with ever since.
Nice. And then you also mentioned financing. And in the previous conversation we've had, you've had a very intriguing, different way of financing your business that a lot of people are not really aware of. It's called ROBS, right?
Correct.
Could you speak about that process a little bit more for our beginner entrepreneurs or people that are already in business looking to fund their business and how they can achieve that?
Absolutely. I'd love to share a little bit about my experience as well as explain for those who are unaware. So ROBS is the acronym that stands for Rollover for Business Startup, which is what I am. And it is when you take your 401k plan. So it could be one that you've had that you've been growing, or it could be five. It doesn't matter. And you roll over those funds into an S corporation that you have started. So that is your business.
Mm,
So unlike with many small businesses that begin as maybe an LLC or a sole proprietorship, the IRS has this special process where you can roll over your funds into your own 401k plan, penalty free, tax free, interest free. And then from there, you use those funds to fund the start of your business. So that is the route I chose. It is not without its pluses and minuses, just like with anything else. But I chose what I thought was best for me and my family at the time. I was not comfortable with a small business loan. I wasn't comfortable with pulling other folks in, like maybe my husband, to be a co-signer or putting up our home for collateral. And there's absolutely
oh,
nothing
wow.
wrong with those
Yeah.
things. You just have to choose what you're comfortable with. And this was a process that I felt like I was comfortable with. And so far, so good. I did work with a financial firm to get it started. It is not something
Mm.
you want to try and do on your own. You do not want to play with the IRS. And so I would say that that is probably the biggest downside is
Mhm.
the upfront costs that you need to be able to pay to have in order to pay a financial firm in order to get the process kicked off for you and um, to manage the 401k plan as time goes on.
Wow, no, I think that's lovely because a lot of people you've already, especially folks that are trying to get into their entrepreneurial journey, they've already been working that 9 to 5, hopefully accruing some benefits and things of that sort. So being able to leverage those benefits to help you start your entrepreneurial journey is always a great fit. Now, going back to what you were talking about when you're talking about your passion and the financing, you also mentioned a mentor. And in entrepreneurship or in any kind of endeavor, it's always great to have someone who's been there, who has done that to help you, guide you, and all that. So, could you speak a little bit more on your process so far in your entrepreneurial journey with having a mentor to help?
Absolutely. So my mentor is another Clubz franchise owner, as well as I also have a mentor that does like emotional intelligence coaching. So I have a coach, and then I have a
Nice.
mentor. And so with the franchise mentor, it's super helpful because I can not only bounce ideas off, but I
Mhm.
can avoid making the same mistakes that he's already made.
Mhm.
And I have the opportunity kind of just to again leverage what is guaranteed to work because it's tried and true. I can
Nice.
leverage, like, hey, I was thinking of trying this, and he can say, oh no, I saw someone do that 5 years ago, and it was a complete flop. You shouldn't do that, or I don't have to think of ideas off the top of my head and test it out. The only thing that I would say is again more of a thought partner in is making sure that my marketing is tailored to my particular demographic. And I think we mentioned, but when we spoke before, I mentioned that my mentor is in Minnesota. So we do have very different demographics, um, as far as the type of marketing that would work best, but the overall foundation of kind of just like any advice that I need or any questions that I may have, it's been amazing. He has expressed to me how great it is to have a good CPA behind you. Some folks, they
Yeah.
just want to do everything on their own, or just the pluses to maybe paying because you think that it's going to make your life easier, or not paying because you're like, I want to
Mhm.
get as much money for myself as I can. So just again, leveraging all of those little bits of advice has been great thus far.
Nice. And I do admire uh, the fact that you took the chance on yourself. And now you also mentioned how you are able to, what would you call it, leverage other folks to help you in your business, right? Whether it's in form of paying someone else to do a task. Now, most entrepreneurs and most business owners, small business owners, they wear the hat of not only the CEO, but the accountant, the marketing manager, the HR manager, the person even developing the work. So, what has been your go to in terms of, how to know when to hire or when to outsource this task or something like that? What has been that metrics that you use to guide or gauge that?
Absolutely. So, well, one would be the mentor, and
Yeah.
then it's just an overall risk assessment. So
Mhm.
if I spend to outsource this, um, what would that be compared to if I messed it up? How much would it
Mm.
be to fix it? Or what am I going to lose? Or what am I risking if I choose to maybe take on something that I am not as familiar with, that I do not have an expertise in, versus if I paid someone to outsource? So something else that we spoke about in another conversation is that I do use a third party marketing firm to help with things such as SEO and pay per click, because those are things that I am not as familiar with, and I want to get it right because everyone uses the internet these days. That is like your first line of defense. And so when I did, the overall
Yeah.
risk assessment, it was okay. This is something I not only want to get right, but I want to get it right the first time, and I want it to be as effective
Mm.
as it can be. And so that's how I ended up choosing a third party for that. But again, yes, I have a CPA, but as you said, I still wear many hats. So I still use QuickBooks. I still do, and do a ton of things on my own as well to minimize cost, but also minimize my risk.
Nice. No, that's lovely. Um, Now what this leads me to the question of, like, balancing passion and profit, right? We're in business to make money, of course, and education is often associated with, passion and purpose. So, how do you balance your passion for education with the needs of profitability in your tutoring franchise?
Absolutely. So I think a way that one that I have and will continue to balance it is just by volunteering my time. So for
Mhm.
example, I plan to volunteer with our local area libraries like Bowie Library and South Bowie Library for daily read alouds. That could be children who are English as a English learners, English language learners,
Mhm.
be children that are maybe in homeschool who kind of just need that additional outlet. But I do believe that when you follow your passion, eventually the profit will follow. And so I think people they are purchasing or um, supporting your why sometimes,
Mhm.
not just the what.
Gotcha. And last question here, or second to last question here, rather, is just for those that are watching that may be interested in the future of education, with your experience in education and now entrepreneurship, what trends or rather innovations do you foresee shaping in the future of education? And also,
Absolutely.
how are you incorporating those trends into your own business?
Yeah. So I have this twofold. One coming from ed tech, I do believe that technology is not only our future, obviously, but I think it's just a great supplemental tool that we can continue to leverage. So I would say first would be using AI. So things like Chat GPT, there are a ton of uh,
Hmm.
educational organizations that are supporting the use of it. If for anyone out there who is a teacher, they probably wear the most hats of any profession that you can think of. And it is okay to utilize all the resources you have. There are things that you can type into Chat GPT right now. Like you could have your lesson plan and you can say, shorten my lesson plan by 5 minutes. Put the lesson plan you have in there. And, like those are things that it just takes a little bit of the heavy lift off and allows you to continue with more of your human touch and let the technology do some of the heavy lifting for you. And then I would say that the next thing would be the metaverse. I'm a huge fan and I cannot wait until it takes over, into our K-12 space, anywhere from, a field trip to um, again like a visit or helping understand something. They're using it a lot in medical programs now already,
Hmm.
so just being able to give children another version of something that is kinesthetic as it can be. I just think it would be an amazing experience, and again, an addition to supplement learning.
No, I think that's amazing. And as a kinesthetic learner who wish this tool was invented during my own childhood days, this would have been great to help me definitely visualize the different concepts and teaching and things of that sort. This has been really great, Erica. Any last words for our viewers?
Last words would just be, again, like don't let fear stop you. There are going to be a ton of things going through your head as you look at some of those checks you're writing and some of those wire transfers you're making, but just believe in yourself, invest in yourself, stay the course. If you know that you have a great plan, get a mentor, and yeah, just believe in yourself, stay the course.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica. And the best way people can contact Miss Erica is written below on the screen, but you can also share some other maybe social media handles if you'd like.
Sure. Bowie underscore Clubz is where I'm most active, and I'm always open to emails for questions, thoughts, suggestions, and that is eking at clubztutoring.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you, Shadera. I appreciate
All
you.
righty. All righty. Take care.